Hi, this video is sponsored to you by resilience, adaptation, and redefinition. These are the things which are found in each and every one of us. We are talking about mixed martial arts in this video. Mixed martial arts is about gripping, how strong your grip is, how you are able to make your opponent choke out under the pressure of your surrender. But this mixed martial arts is not just about the physical strength. It's about the mental strength and the mental capability of each and every of the individuals that we carry within ourselves. Mixed martial arts is began during the in the 648 BC in the Olympic Games. At that time, it was known by the name of Pancration. It was a kind of a martial training which was used for the Greek soldiers, and then the game became popularized, and then it was used as a kind of a self-defense technique. So we are talking about mixed martial arts, about mental resilience, and how often we all have to use it in our day-to-day life. In North America, it became popularized with the effort of the Gracie brothers. Uh, their significance, their contribution to mixed martial arts, it can only be seen by one of the guys from the family known as Hélio Gracie, like how he anchored it for. He actually redefined the entire set of rules for the weaker opponent, or how are they going to tackle those people who are far more in strength. Hélio Gracie, when he started to when he began training, he was very feeble. He was very weak. Uh, During his childhood, he was actually forced to remain sidelined as his brother Carlos would be training with the legendary judokas. But Helio Gracie, in one of the interviews, he told that he was actually like a parrot. He actually kept a sharp eye on his brother was using how his brother was trained by the legendary mixed martial artist. So he memorized all of the techniques and then he readapted them to suit up his limitation. So it was all about adapting yourself, changing your limitations into your power. And this is how he redefined the set of rules for all the weaker opponents of how they are going to take the challenges in their life. Hero Gracie, when he began training, one of the most pivotal moments came into his life when during one of the coaching classes of his brother, he was late to the class, and so the students they had to train again. They had to train under the leadership of Helio, and they were so impressed that they decided to continue under his leadership. So it was all about mindset. His mind was never at rest. He knew that since his childhood he was weak, but he was not going to accept defeat at any cost. And this what made the difference between his resolution against his own weakness. Like if you see his photographs of his young age, like he was very feeble, not muscular. So he knew that how he's going to adapt all the techniques of mixed martial arts to suit his own limitation, and that's how he changed those limitations into a superpower. He made a kind of a manual for all the feeble for all the other fighters who considered themselves weaker as compared to those who have more muscle mass. So that's how he actually made a kind of a big effort, not in terms of physical power, but in terms of adaptability of his mental attitude. For Hélio Gracie, he popularized the entire MMA in the Northern America. So for him, it was about the mental attitude. It's not the color of the belt which determine your power. It's your attitude, your inner attitude of how you're going to take your life in every day, of how you're going to make it, how you're going to walk through it, how you're going to walk. Are you going to walk like a champion, or are you going to make the limitations take the best of you? But he pinned down all his limitations, and the limitations were not outside, it was just in his mind. So it was a continued effort of how he was actually taking up every challenge of beating down every single thought of limitation that was being poured out in his mind. So at that time, judokas, like they asked Hilography that he cannot use the black belt. So at that time, he went to the ring by wearing a blue belt, and according to him, it's not the color, it's the attitude of the mental attitude that defined the character of mixed martial artists. And he became a trademark. He became a legendary person who introduced the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which was based on a kind of self-defense against the opponents who are more stronger than the weaker opponent. So still today, his legacy lived on. And it continued to live on because It is about winning without any strength, not giving up under pressure, and continuing to the very best and not tapping out. So it's about adapting to circumstances, never giving out. So it's a kind of a manual, a tool book he created, a kind of a mental attitude book that he has given to the entire world. So like, you cannot compare him to anyone. Like, he's a legend, and that's what his teachings are so important. Which are and he told that mixed martial arts is never about the physical strength; it's all in the mind. Thank you for watching.